Labyrinthine's new game mode called Case Files, also known as procedural generation or randomization, adds a lot of replayability to the game. Each case file that you get has been randomly generated, so the type of maze that you get, the number of lives you have in it, the monsters you face, and the layout of the maze has been decided through RNG. Each file has a size, a difficulty, and a danger level. Let's start by going over the size of the maze. This is decided independently of the difficulty and danger, and currently there can be small, medium, large, or giant mazes. One size does not fit all for these types, as they can have different widths and lengths depending on your level. For example, the smallest possible maze would be a 25 by 25 maze, and these multiplied by each other would give us the volume of the maze, which is 625. The largest small maze would have a volume of 2,499, after which the maze would become a medium-sized maze. Here are the current volume thresholds for each of the maze sizes. Now that we've gone over sizes, we're going to skip difficulty for just a moment to discuss the danger level. The danger level of a map is determined by the type and amount of the monsters, and the current danger levels are low, medium, high, severe, and extreme. Each monster type is given a danger level based on their speed and how difficult they are to handle in the maze. The combined danger levels of monsters placed on a map provides the overall danger level of the case. Smiley, for example, isn't a very dangerous monster if you know how to handle him, so having 2 Smileys would leave the danger level at low. Having multiple Wickermen in a maze, however, is much more threatening, so your danger level would be medium if you had 2 of them, and a lot higher if you had more. Now let's go back to the difficulty level. This is a representation of several different factors, such as the size of the map, the danger level we just went over, and the number of lives that you have. To make it easier for new players, lower level case files will always have a high number of lives. The different levels of difficulty are easy, normal, hard, very hard, and extreme. Now that we have an understanding of how the case files are generated, let's jump into some cases to go over a few different maze types and objectives to complete in the game. Let's first look at the Unkept Hedges maze type, often called Old Hedges. The style of this maze is the same as chapters 1 and 2, and the objective in this maze type is to find 5 seals placed in the map, then place them in a pedestal at the exit to open the gate. The exit will always be placed somewhat diagonally across the map from the entrance, and the seals can be found in 3 places: safe houses, landmarks, and the puzzle. Let's first talk about the safe houses. Safe houses are exactly what they sound like, places you can chill out in for a while if you need a breather from the maze. These houses can be seen from a distance if you look just above the tree line, and the number of safe houses you have in a map is dependent on the size of the map. The smallest of the small mazes generally have 2 safe houses, and I've seen more than 6 on the maze sizes I currently have. The houses will have music in them to indicate that they're safe, but be careful. Some landmarks also have music that do not keep you safe. The safe houses will always look like this though, and they will have the same music playing. So let's give it a listen just so you don't get confused with a landmark. Alright, inside the safe houses there are 4 spots to look for. 3 spots that seals can spawn in, and 1 spot where a customization item can be found. We'll go over customization a bit later, but here's the spot to check for the item right next to the book on this desk. The 3 seal spawn locations are as follows: here on the edge of the table where the music box is, here on the shelf just above the broken one, and here on this little box thing that has a candle on it. At low levels, it's not uncommon to see multiple seals spawn in one safe house, so be sure to check all 3 spots before leaving just in case, even if you find one right away. In larger maps, it's uncommon to find multiple seals in one house, but it's always worth checking just so you don't miss it and then think that that safe house is clear. The safe houses will also contain a note that can spawn in various places around the house that hint at the mechanics of the monster or monsters in your maze, so keep an eye out for those as well. Next, let's go over what landmarks are. These are points of interest around the map that are separate from the puzzle and safe houses and are not on any paths. So if you see any candles or small props in a very small corner of a path, for example, these are not landmarks, they're just decoration. Landmarks can be places like a large rundown greenhouse, trees that have cages around them, skull piles on the ground, or on a pedestal, and a lot of other things like that. Whenever you see a landmark, it's important to take a close look around when you can, because they can spawn in a few different places depending on the landmark that you found. When you get close to a seal, they will also glow a little bit to help catch your eye, so look out for that. Finally, let's talk about the puzzles. For small, medium, and large mazes, you should only see one puzzle per maze, so it will have one of the 5 seals that you need. For giant mazes, you may see more than one puzzle. There are currently 4 types of puzzles in the game. One is the Lights Out puzzle from Chapter 1, where you have to step on tiles on the floor until they're all lit up. Next is the Arrow puzzle from Chapter 2, sometimes called Cages due to the section of the map you find it in story mode. The last 2 types of puzzles are actually variations of a single puzzle, which is often referred to as Follow the Leader or the Simon Says puzzle. This is another floor tile puzzle that begins when you step on an unlit tile, which lights up another tile on the puzzle. You have to run to that tile and step on it very quickly. If you don't step on it in time, the puzzle resets, and one variation of this puzzle will keep the tiles lit up as you step on them, and the other variation will not leave the tiles you've stepped on lit up. So don't be alarmed and think that you failed the puzzle right away if they're not staying lit up. It could just be that second variation, so just keep trying to run around as fast as you can. If you walk over unlit tiles, that's totally fine, so don't try to go around them to get to a lit up tile. You can just run in a straight line as often as you can. As soon as you finish the puzzle, the obstacle that's blocking you from picking up the seal will be removed. For the Cages or Arrows puzzle, it will be the same globe as from Chapter 2, and for the other puzzles, the seal will be in a tomb-like structure similar to the tomb from Chapter 3, which will open right up to reveal the seal. Once you've found all the seals, find the exit, place them in the pedestal, and you're home free. The next maze type is the Kept Hedges, also referred to as New Hedges. This is an exclusive maze type to procedural generation, and the objectives to complete are the same as the Unkept Hedges maze type. Find all the seals, find the exit, and leave the maze. Both the Unkept Hedges and the Kept Hedges have the following monsters available: Smiley, the Witch, Clubfoot, and the Wickerman, who is unlocked when you're around level 5. Since the main difference between those 2 maze types is a really nice visual change, let's move on to the next maze type, the Crypts. The Crypts unlock when you're around level 5, and currently Smiley and the Pigman are available on this maze type. Unlike the other types, using your flashlight or lantern is a must on these cases, because otherwise you're in pitch black darkness as you roam the halls. The objectives in the crypt are to find 3 levers, which can be found in the usual places: safe houses, landmarks, and puzzles. When searching around landmarks, the lever can be on the floor very close to the point of interest, or it can be on a supporting pillar around it. You'll also want to look around for customization items around each landmark, as they can spawn in a few different places. In safe houses, these look much different than the hedge maze safe houses, so here are the 2 things to look for: a lever that can spawn on this section of the wall, and the customization item that can spawn on this sarcophagus. Once you've found all 3 levers, head on out to the exit and get ready for the next case. The final maze type currently available is the Forest, which is exclusive to randomization. Every monster mentioned earlier other than the Pigman are available on this map. The objectives for this map are to find and destroy 3 effigies around the maze, similar to Chapter 3. Each effigy destroyed will remove a set of roots that are blocking off the exit, and they can be found by listening and looking for their signature whispers and purple glow as you progress through the maze. The forest has a unique set of landmarks around and can also spawn customization items, so be sure to take a good look around. The safe houses look quite different in the forest and are best described as small dugouts in the earth that have bright lights and music to keep you safe. The effigies will be found outside the safe houses on the ground, so keep an eye and ear out, and once you've destroyed all the effigies, find the exit, and the roots that blocked the way previously will be gone. This update also brings us the new death system, which includes lives and revives. Instead of killing you immediately, monsters will instead knock you down. While you're knocked down, you can crawl, but this appears to speed up the bleed out timer that appears on your screen. Your teammates can revive you by pressing E while looking at you, but they have to be close, so be careful not to alert the monster. If the bleed out timer runs out, or if you hold space to give up, you lose a life and will return to the beginning of the maze. Your progress will not be lost unless everyone dies and you're out of lives, at which point you will return to the lobby and you can try that same maze again. If you come across a case file that you just want to get rid of because it seems too difficult, there is a reroll option available. Each time you complete someone else's maze, you will earn a reroll token that can be used to reroll one of your case files. This will make a completely new maze to replace your previous one, but that doesn't mean it will be any easier. Finally, let's talk about customization items. These are items that your character can wear and have a very low chance of being found in non-rare maps. That's right, that means there are rare maps as well. Each case file that's generated has a chance of being a rare map, and it's indicated by a blue stamp along with the letter R on it, like this giant crypt my friends and I had the other day. These maps give you additional experience on top of having a guaranteed item within the maze. As mentioned earlier, these items can spawn in safe houses and landmarks, and right now there are various types of hats available to hunt down, with more options coming in the future for the chest and wrist slots in your character menu. To give you an idea of where the items can spawn, let's take a look at where the item was when we went into the giant crypt I just showed you.
Oh, this is a large cavernous room. Don't like this.
Oh, I found another landmark and a... Oh, I have the item. I'm still in the area, yeah.
Okay.
Might as well pick this up now.
If I can find it, I will.
It's important to note that everyone in your group that wants the item has to pick it up. If only one person picks it up and the maze is completed, only that person will receive the cosmetic. So be sure everyone makes it to the item before you finish up the case, and then you're good to go. If the item is one that you already have, it might be worth picking it up again anyway, as you do get experience for picking up the item before the maze is completed. And that just about covers everything currently available for the procedural generation game mode. As the future is being built upon, there will be more maze types coming in the future that have not been covered in this video. I hope this will at least be a good groundwork for you to build off of as you complete your cases though, and will help you transition to whatever new maze types are coming in the future. As always, information can change, so if there is a drastic change to the game mode after the release of this video, I will be sure to post an updated version of this guide. If you have any questions about Labyrinthine or the procedural generation game mode, please feel free to leave a comment, or you can join the official Labyrinthine Discord and ask in the discussions channel. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Thanks for watching, and good luck in your cases!